定められた奇跡は権限してさあ恐怖を見つめてさもなくば答えは得られない死に直面しよう代価を払うことになろうと大丈夫私が消さない限りあなたは忘れる
Unfortunately, Black Swan's skill and ult multipliers are pretty low compared to her dot tick, 78 and 108% at level 8. And on top of this, if we're building crit, we're going to need to sacrifice a good amount of effect hit rate, meaning we're not going to get much damage percent from this trace. Not to worry though, we'll make the most with what we've got. We're going to take Incessant Rain. Prisoner 4-piece will be the best for this. Look for crit substats, don't worry too much about EHR. Crit rate or crit damage body, depending on which one will get you closer to that 1 to 2 crit ratio. Speed boots for sure. 2-piece Glamoth or 2-piece Space Ceiling will be the best for your planar set. Even though we're going crit, Black Swan's dots will still be doing a lot of the heavy lifting, so don't forgo attack or damage percent. I'll get more into the rationale for everything later, as well as other gearing options if you want to try this for yourself. But this is looking pretty good. That 43.5% effect hit rate translates to about 26% extra damage as well, so let's see how much we can do. You're going to see Fu Xuan, Ranmei, and Bronya here, but don't worry, we're going to actually go ahead and turn all our abilities off and just see her raw damage at some point, but at least for the first part we need to go pretty ham on the shapeshifter, otherwise it's just going to heal infinitely. Also, it's really important to mention this, but the memory turbulence buff is going to be hard carrying us. Even though this is MOC 12, every time we use a skill point we gain a stack, which caps out at 10, but at the end of every cycle it does damage based on a percent of the enemy's HP, so you can kind of get away with doing less damage from your characters. Also, you do get a 50% basic and skill damage bonus, which helps our Black Swan a lot. Even so, her dots are still going to be hitting harder than her ult and skill raw multipliers, which isn't a bad thing, it just means she's, you know, intended to be played dot. 20Ks, 17Ks, it's not bad, just not game breaking. I probably should have waited until Bronya's ult before using Black Swan's ult, but realistically we're not trying to optimize this run because, again, at some point I will be turning off all our damage buffs just so that we can see what raw damage looks like. Luckily though, look at this, did you see that? I think that was 41k on the Sanctus Medicus guy, and look at those dot ticks. Absolutely massive. So I figured it was still important to go for a bit of effect hit rate, even though we aren't going to be needing it to land our debuffs. Interestingly, the Sanctus Medicus and Void Ranger Trampler have more effect res at 30% than the Memory Zone meme does, which has 20%, so I'll show you a few breakpoints on screen here. We're mainly going for a bit of effect hit rate so that we can get some damage percent from her passive, but we don't want to sacrifice too many crit rolls for effect hit rate rolls, at least not with this build. Okay, it's time to turn off most of our abilities. We still have Ranmei's skill active, which gives us a bit of damage percent, but I think it's fine. No crit there. Skill, no crit either. Well, I guess it's another round of just basic attacking and hoping we actually crit this time. Ooh, I actually thought of something kind of cool that you might be able to use in your runs. I don't know how applicable this can be, but it might be cool. So you see how when you get caught into Sunset, when you break that character out of it, you get your energy back to full, right? So if you time it so that you get to pick exactly which character you want, getting trapped, oh, the memory turbulence damage does count towards the breaking your character out of it, by the way. But if you can time, 1, your character that gets trapped, and 2, the character that you want having full energy after being untrapped, I'm pretty sure I just burnt the kitchen. But anyway, it might be something that could work. Who knows? So we have nothing, we've just been basic attacking, we probably wasted a cycle or two, but again, I just want to show you the raw damage here. 9,600, 8,700, and this is with a E1 Fu Xuan active, so that's 12% crit rate, which doesn't increase the damage, but you get 30% crit damage on top of that. No other buffs were active aside from like Keel, Fleet. I don't know if any of these have Fleet on. I think Fushuan's on Keel, Ranmei is on Von Whack, and Bronya is on Keel. So this is about 50% extra crit damage, and yeah, we're hitting not even 10k with our regular skill and all. But luckily, oh, here we go again. Yeah, I'm totally doing this on purpose, by the way, as you can see. This would be a lot harder if Black Swan's dots didn't tick while she was in there, but thankfully they do, and they count towards the stacks required to break her out of it. And we're still not even in the second phase, because we've been, look at this, we have 22, or we're almost at the 22nd cycle, 60% HP, but we do have a fully buffed Black Swan here. Let's see how much damage she does. I don't know if you saw that, but that was almost a, well, the Turbulence buff itself did almost 200k, so that kind of invalidates the entire sequence, but she did about 40k with her ult, just slightly under, and then 2 instances of over 30k. One was the raw break damage from her skill, and then also another, I think it was 48k, that was just Ranmei's talent from breaking the enemy. So a lot of damage. Even from the opening clip, if you saw that, it was around 240k, but at least 40,000 of it was from Ranmei breaking. So it's a bit, the numbers are a bit inflated, just being honest, telling you what it is, so you don't expect Black Swan to just be a crazy crit damage dealer. If I was going to give my verdict on how strong her crit build is compared to some of the other random builds that I've done, like crit Kafka, crit Fire MC, it's really not that effective compared to her regular build. Like crit Kafka, you can actually make a good argument for, because at some point you're going to be capping out, not really capping out, but there's no other stats to get. You just want attack percent and speed. But with Black Swan, you need effect hit rate, attack percent, and a good amount of speed, at least hitting the breakpoints like 134 speed, or if you have crazy high investment somehow and get to that 161 speed, maybe after a Ranmei buff or something. But the point being, crit Kafka can afford to actually spec into those crit stats, also because her crit motion values are higher. She's got her talent, she's got her skill, and ult, which combined do a lot more overall damage than just Black Swan's skill and ult. They also have really low multipliers, but all this to say, all this nerding is that Black Swan needs a lot of effect hit rate to get that damage percent, increase the damage of her dots, because she is sacrificing a lot by going crit. Is it doable? Yes. And fun, I guess, but you're actually going to see even bigger numbers with her dots than her crits, which is kind of funny. You don't really expect that, but I'm just going to stop talking, let you enjoy this final finishing blow. And just like that. Oh, see, we didn't even do enough, so we needed the dot to take care of it. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.